Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Art of the Game. I'm joined by, or we are three experienced GMs, play various games, mostly experienced. Uh, and
Yes.
we talk about different game master topics for whatever game you're playing, D&D, whatever it is. And Woody came up with the original idea for the show. So, Woody, tell us what the concept we're talking about today is.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here the reason I'm twitching is like trying to see if I can get you guys reflected in my glasses really well. Cause like I don't know how you guys are doing it, but you guys don't have to deal with reflection, and I do. So yes, we're talking about cheaters. Well, this is falls under the broader category of what we would call the disruptive player. But yes, I know. But there is this is a problem that you survey game masters and you will find that it's a very common problem, and a lot of guys just don't know what to do about it. Like, what happens when you've got somebody at the table, he's your friend, but it turns out he's not very honest, or his idea of playing the game, or her, I guess, is the competition, not the story and the experience, right?
Mhm.
And like I remember having this one guy who comes to mind specifically is like he's our cautionary tale, and like there were times I caught him fudging his dice, because he didn't want his character to die, and it's like nobody else is doing that, right? And with the group I'm running right now on Saturday, where we're playing over Zoom, and it for me, like what I keep telling them is like I want them to use real dice. I don't like dice rollers, but it's like I can't see their dice. I don't know if it's true, right? But I figure like if I can't trust you to be honest, then we shouldn't be playing, right? And the players have to be honest too. It's not just the GM, right? But
Yeah.
like what do you do in the situation where have somebody who is a disruptive influence and or is cheating? How do you handle it? And I know I know what I would do, but what do you guys have to say before I jump in and take the floor?
So I don't actually have much experience with this.
Really?
If someone was doing it, they're good enough that I didn't notice, I guess.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm not sure. Other than what you mentioned, as if you're sure they're doing it, then just
Yeah.
boot them because
Yeah.
no one wants that.
Well, because I remember you and I having this discussion because I wanted to reuse real dice, and you were encouraging everybody to use a die roller. I'm like, I will never do that. But like, I was totally honest about my fumbles. Like you knew when I screwed up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Die rollers do prevent it to some degree, right? If it's on a virtual tabletop.
Yeah.
But virtual tabletops is a whole other discussion, and we actually agree on that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that I think Critical Role had someone who did that at the beginning.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
They did,
Yeah.
and he got booted from the show.
Yeah, but he also got booted for different reasons, not exactly that. But he had a drug. He admits to he had a drug problem. But
We're spilling tea.
Yeah, so I don't really know. I mean, it's not a good thing. I will say I have cheated on a couple of rolls. And the rolls I cheated on is because I rolled a natural 2 and I just really wanted a natural 1 because I thought it'd be so much funnier.
so is this as a player or a game master, Greg?
As a player.
Okay, all right, okay. Well,
yeah.
okay, the truth is out. He's confessed. Yeah.
This was a while ago when I was still playing with my friends back home from Kentucky, and my character was known for ultimately fumbling, and I just made it happen sometimes.
Yeah. Well, Mark's what's your business?
You do what you always do with cheaters. You hire a private investigator, take photos for proof.
Perfect.
No, I don't have that happen a whole lot anymore. But when I was a kid, we would have some people do it, like as a teen and stuff. So what I would do, that's rule number 1. What I do to not make a big deal about it, hopefully, because I would only do it if it's like becoming very obvious that they're probably cheating, and it also takes away the fun from other people because they all kind of know they're cheating. So what I would do is 2 things. One, if they're cheating on their build, I make a point to say like, oh, let me see, I need a copy of everybody's character sheet just so I know for game balance, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So then that helps cut down them lying about a modifier or something. And then 2, I would just make a point to be like, oh, we need to see all of our rolls in front. And I would do the same thing as a GM usually, unless there's a secret roll or something. And then that helps cut it out, and without trying to make too big a deal about it. And if they resist, or if they're doing the little, oh, I threw it. Oh no, you don't see what that dice. It comes kind of painfully obvious at that point.
Yeah.
Well,
If that's an issue, have him roll on the middle of the table.
Yeah.
it's been my experience that the person that's doing that, that's not the only thing wrong, right?
Mhm.
Like the guy that's fudging his dice is going to be, like it's symptomatic of a larger issue, right? There's a fundamental dishonesty there, and there's going to be other things that you're going to find that they're doing, and but
Should give them therapy.
it's not your job, but
No.
the thing that I basically found is that like those character, like the people that are doing that, they're probably not people that are doing well in life in other ways too, right? And you're basically going to find that like a person that is trouble like that will tend to hang themselves, right? And
Oh
so
Jesus, that's dark.
Jeez, so dark.
well, see, here's been my experience with this, right? Is that hang themselves, yeah. But no, you literally, the problem really is that the person that is like this, like, thank you, Greg. The person who is like this actually is basically your tool, right? Because you're going to find that there's like behaviors that they're going to exhibit that are pretty consistent. I mean, you're going to have to police their dice, but like these guys that are like this, literally all you have to do is give them enough rope and they will hang themselves, right? And they are will always have other things that they do aside from the cheater aspect of it, that they're usually there for some power fantasy, self-aggrandizement, that they have very high opinion of their abilities, and they tend not to do well with criticism or be able to recognize their faults, right? These are traits that I see over and over again in this kind of person. And all you have to do is just sit back, bait them with something, and they will take that bait and run with it because they see an advantage. Like you all you have to do is see, you've never run into these people, Greg, so you don't know. But
yeah, I'm not sure how would you bait them?
Well, like so the person that in mind particularly was like absolutely became a megalomaniac in the game when they what was happening was this person, when removed from the rules of life, where they no longer have to face real consequences, they will then literally go off the deep end of sanity, right?
Mm.
And just go nuts on it. And this like their ego is on full display, right? That thing that they withhold themselves from doing because they want people to like them, they stop caring in the RPG environment. And if you have a person like that, and I guarantee anyone listening to this has probably met these kinds of players before.
I've had one.
Describing, yeah. And so like all you have to do is literally just step back and kind of like set the scenario, and you let them. They're going to take it, run with it, and they're probably going to screw it up and make some huge mistake. And this person will, in a way, if you bait them, they will become a tool that progresses your story. They don't realize that they're basically falling like right into your plans, and you just have to wait for them to screw it up, and they absolutely will. Like every time, because like mine, for example, was like so self-confident and so certain of himself that he would just grab hold of something and go, okay, well, this is how it is, and run with it. At no point did any of this match the scenario in the game or logical sense. He would just get hung up on some thing and be like, that this is it. And he was very good at convincing the other players to go along with his incorrect assumptions. And I would just sit and marvel at this. I was like, how did you come to these conclusions? Like, none of this makes any sense whatsoever. But this time and again, this person was like this, and so
I think part of people who are like that also are they're trying to live vicariously through their game. Like I've noticed that too. They usually do have problems in their own life, and so they want to have the life that they wish they could live within the RPG realm.
Oh yeah,
and so they take it as a slight. Yeah. Another way I've seen it is these are the same people that if you do something they perceive as being unfair, especially to their character, they get really upset. I remember I had one guy, he thought he should be able to just convince this bar owner to sell him his bar or something like that. Right. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you could roll 40 on a skill check, and he still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was just very upset about that.
Yeah, and you have like this thing where it's like, yes, they want to abuse the universe, but they don't want to be abused back. Like they can dish it up but can't take it. I mean, the problem with this kind of person is ultimately it is poison at the table. Like these guys will inevitably split up parties. People will leave.
That's a toxic player.
Yeah, because they can't handle dealing with this person. But you also run into situations where it's like, oh, it's my friend. I don't want to ruin that relationship outside of the game, by kicking the guy out. But is the relationship still that if this guy's this much of a problem, what's he actually like in your real life? And is this person actually valuable to have around? And sometimes they become complicated, especially when you're a kid. But like when I've looked at these people and made evaluated these kinds of situations, very few of those people are still in my life today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do usually have problems. And the one I had that problem with, I think got better, but I just still don't think he cheated on his rolls. He had other issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, the full list of actual serious list, not you telling people hang themselves, is
yeah.
So they are usually dishonest, right? And so they will have other issues. If they're toxic, there's only one thing you can do, which is right there.
Yeah.
But not physically kick them. We're not talking about violence.
No. But, and number 4 could be a huge topic by itself because, it kind of falls under storytelling technique. But you will inevitably find that it's very easy to get these people to actually become a tool of the story, and I
can already just think of some. Like for instance, if you want them to have like a sailing adventure where they're gonna go like to the Underdark, like in Baldur's Gate 2 or something, you could totally just have them fight a pirate group, and guess what that person's gonna do? They're gonna try to take over the pirates or take their ship or something. It's almost guaranteed, and that's what you probably mean by like bait them, right? You can or guess what they're gonna do,
or the person will like, I want that powerful item, I want that treasure, I want this magic spell. Well, okay, it's it's cursed, you're not the only one who wants it, or it was stolen from somebody else and they want it back. Like it's just these sorts of things, like this. But that person will be whatever their item is, they will hunt it like clockwork, and it's you can set your watch by it. It's
and then what Mark said, if they're not really too bad, right? You can have them roll on public or on the VTT, and always check their character. Because some people have it slight and they're not that bad.
Yeah. Well, I have to point out, if you're going to do character audits, you kind of have to check every character, though. It's one thing you got a player. It's one thing if you've got a player that's like, hey, I need help with my character. Great. But if you think somebody has lied, you have to that they're going to know you're calling them out, right?
Yeah.
And the person that does that is going to yell the loudest.
But honestly, I usually like to get people's characters anyway, not for that reason, but because
just so you know,
just so I know what they can do and stuff. For when I build the challenges for them, and also in case like if we're on pen and paper and stuff, they don't like lose them or forget to burn them when we come in like in real life.
That's actually a big thing. Yeah,
that happens a lot. And so if you collect them all, or at least a copy, and keep them, then we know there's a safe spot somewhere.
It works great until somebody breaks into your car and steals the binder full of everybody's characters, and suddenly nobody has characters.
D&D character thievery is a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're selling them on the black market. I got this level 10 character over here.
You sure you haven't read my role playing game? I have this subplot with corporate executives buying characters on the black market from MMOs so they can go into an MMO and have secret clandestine meetings, but they have to have a character to play.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, because there's so much going on there, it can't be surveilled.
Yeah.
At least
I know in some of those MMO worlds, they get their stuff stolen or whatever. You have a whole different commerce situation, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that happened to people I know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's an episode, right?
So, I think so. It's a difficult topic, and it usually is wrapped up in people's emotional investment in certain relationships. But I mean, the reality
is usually friends. It does usually involve friends, unfortunately.
or family. Mom says I have to play with my brother, but But it happens. It absolutely happens that way. But like, yeah, it's just, these games only function because of agreements that people made. And if somebody's breaking those agreements, it breaks down. And so, sooner or later, you have to enforce that honesty.
Yeah.
And
And a good thing now.
Okay.
The good thing nowadays compared to maybe when we were kids is that if you're willing to play online, you can always find a group of people to play with. Game with.
For example.
Yeah. And I just want to mention they might be your friend. If they're toxic and they're not getting along, it is actually beneficial to them to kick them, because sometimes life needs to kick you in the balls to learn something.
Well, it is true. There are people that they, it wasn't until somebody put, actually called them out that it actually made a difference.
Yeah.
Yep. So in the chat room, in the comments, let us know, what experience have you had with cheaters? Are you a cheater?
Are you a little crab reading about cheaters?
How have you handled cheaters at your table? And just feel free to share stories or tips of your own, and we'll keep an eye on it. We'll make it a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think that's it for today. And remember, private investigators exist for this reason.
That is true.
And nooses, they apparently exist for this reason.
and always get your private investigators from Craigslist. That's the best place.
No, yes, for sure. They tell them, take care of them, and they're like, what?
They come from Greg's List.
That's right.
Yeah.
You get a PIR noose. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Don't listen to what we just said in the last minute. All right. See you, everybody. Bye.
When the dice roll high, we touch the sky. But when